What's up, Big Blue Nation and sports fans everywhere, and welcome back to the BBN Report, where we talk all things college football and basketball. And you read the headline: college basketball is back, baby. It's November, you know what that means. College basketball is back, and I can't think of a better way to kick the season off with the annual Champions Classic, this year being held at Madison Square Garden. What two great matchups you have to kick off the college basketball season. You have Kansas and Michigan State, and Duke and Kentucky being the primetime night headliner. And as a Kentucky fan, I am very excited about this team. I'm ready to get the taste of last year's 16-loss team out of my mouth. It's been something that was really frustrating to get through last year, but me being the fan that I am, I sat down and watched all 32 games that team played, going 9-16 last year. It was just very bad team last season. Last year's team had very bad point guard play for the most part, until somewhat towards the end of the season, we started playing Davion Mintz at the point. The offense did seem to flow a lot better, but at the end of the day, they just couldn't close out games last year. They lost so many games last season by 5 points or less, and I think almost every single game they played in, they had a lead in the second half at one point or another. But I think that's enough of last year's disappointment. I definitely want to talk about this upcoming Duke-Kentucky game because I think it's going to be one of the best games that you're going to see in the college basketball season. I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. And I think it's going to be all around a slugfest of a game. Now, going into this matchup, you have Kentucky ranked at number 10 and Duke ranked at number 9, respectively. And Duke boasts a pretty good recruiting class coming into this season. I think it was second or third best recruiting class. And they end up having some really good transfers come in Theo Johns and Bates Jones. Before we really get into the meat and potatoes of this game and what I actually think is going to happen in this game, I want to go over both the teams' rosters for incoming freshmen to returners to transfers. And we'll start with Duke first. You know, they have incoming freshmen. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Polio Banchero. That dude is going to be a stud this year. He's probably going to go number 1 overall in the draft next June. He's an overall guy who's definitely going to be able to lead Duke this season. I think he's the best player on the court in this game. Another freshman for Duke is A.J. Griffin, who is a potential lottery pick for the Blue Devils as well, along with his elite athleticism. That will definitely be tough to handle for this Kentucky Wildcats team, along with Trevor Keels, who is a great shooter from the outside. You also have the transfers I mentioned before in Theo John and Bates Jones, along with the returners, their floor general, Jeremy Roach Jr., Wendell Moore Jr., and seniors Joey Baker, who both of those guys, Wendell Moore Jr. and Joey Baker, have been very good for Duke in the past. Now for the basketball team that actually matters in this household, the Kentucky Wildcats. Incoming freshman Ty Washington, who's going to be an absolute stud for this Wildcats team. Another guy who will probably go in the lottery for Kentucky. And overall, through the preseason so far, I've been thoroughly impressed with Ty, with his ability to hit from the outside. He can hit from way outside and be able to get to the basket as well. He can definitely score from all 3 levels and has been so far really fun to watch for Kentucky. Another freshman being Damian Collins and Bryce Hopkins, along with the transfers being C.J. Frederick, who's a sharpshooter from Iowa, who shot 47% from 3 for Iowa last season. Severe Wheeler from Georgia, who set the single-season assist record for Georgia last season with 193 assists, and also averaged 14 points a game for the Bulldogs last season. And also another transfer, Kellen Grady from Davidson, who was the 6th player in program history to score 2,000 points last year, along with West Virginia transfer Oscar Tshiebwe. Both of those last 3 guys in general, I am very excited about. I think Oscar is definitely the big man that Kentucky's been missing in the post here the last few years. The last true big man that we've had was P.J. Washington, and I think Oscar's the first true big man since then. It was nice we're going to be able to get Severe Wheeler out there because he is going to be a floor general that this Kentucky Wildcats team really needs. And he was able, not only is he a great passer and can score, he is a great on-ball defender and could potentially be one of the great on-ball defenders of this Kentucky era of John Calipari. Now on to the returners for Kentucky. Jacob Toppin and Davion Mintz, 2 guys I'm very excited about. Davion Mintz is pretty much a pretty elite shooter from the outside for the most part. He was a guy who, when he was given the offense reins last year, I thought Kentucky was a much better team. it's definitely going to be really nice to see him slotted over to the two guard position for Kentucky and just let him focus on shooting and the occasional point guard play whenever Severe is on the bench. The same with Jacob Toppin. I thought last year when Toppin got a chance to shine, he was very good for the Cats last season. I wish we actually could have gotten some more playing time out of him. And unfortunately, he also had a bad habit of every now and then getting into a little bit of foul trouble, picking up some really silly fouls. But overall, I'm really excited to see Toppin back, along with Dante Allen, who was probably was last year's best three-point shooter. Maybe not by average, but by every standard other than that. Kentucky's best shooter last year, with Keon Brooks and Lance Ware. And speaking of Keon Brooks Jr., this is kind of a put up or shut up year for Keon. This is definitely a year that I think he really needs to step forward and really show that he can be a leader and really become a better player this season. So far, I think Keon Brooks has been I don't want to say letdown or a disappointment, but I just don't think he's lived up to any kind of potential that he came into his freshman year with. And I'd definitely like to see him start to live up to that and have a really great season, because he's definitely going to be somebody, if Kentucky wants to make the Final Four this year, Keon Brooks is going to be a key to that, along with a couple other players. But I think Keon stepping up, being a leader, and having the best season of his career at Kentucky is definitely going to be a deciding factor in which Kentucky can make a run to the Final Four in March. Now, as we start diving a little bit into this game here, one of the biggest advantages Duke has in this game over Kentucky is the fact that you got Polio at small forward. And I definitely think that is a really, really bad matchup for Kentucky, because I don't think there's any forwards on Kentucky that can guard him, period. I don't think Keon can guard him, and I don't think that Toppin can guard him either. He's just an elite level player who, sadly, is just, for Kentucky anyways, is just that much better than those guys. And we all know it's going to be up to somebody to guard him, because we all know that Cal is not going to run zone or anything like that. He's a strict man-to-man guy, so Polio is going to get his in this game, just bar none, and it's definitely a disadvantage to Kentucky. The biggest advantages that Kentucky's going to have in this game is definitely going to be in guard play with Ty Ty and Severe Wheeler. Now, the center is probably going to be about even, to be honest with you. Duke is probably going to line up Wendell Moore down there along with Oscar Tshiebwe. Those are two really good players down there, and I think they will probably end up canceling each other out a little bit. But definitely, I don't know if Duke has guys that can really match up with Severe Wheeler and Ty Ty. We'll be yet to see. And I don't mean that those guys are better than that. I just think that Kentucky has a bigger advantage at the guard play, and I think we have better guards than Duke. Another advantage that Kentucky's going to have over Duke in this game, in my opinion, is going to be the outside shooting. I think with guys like Ty Ty, C.J. Frederick, Kellen Grady, and Davion Mintz and Dante Allen, that is a lot of really good three-point shooters for Kentucky this year. I think Kentucky's going to be one of the best three-point shooting teams in the nation this year. And given these guys' previous numbers in their past careers, if it holds up, this will probably be one of the most exciting Kentucky teams to watch for that reason, because this team is going to hit a lot of three balls. This is not going to be a team you're going to be able to sit back and zone. You're going to have to man up when you play Kentucky this year. Because of that, I think that's another big advantage for Kentucky in this game over Duke. Now, with everything that I've said about these two teams, you're probably going to be thinking to yourself, Blake, who do you think is going to win this game? Now, like I said before, I do think Kentucky's going to hit a lot of threes in this game. I think that they have advantages in the guard play as well as potentially the center. Like I said, I think those might end up canceling each other out. But overall, who do I think is going to win this game? 85-81. Just kidding. I think Duke is going to win this game. I think that they're going to come out. They're going to play a little bit more inspired. This is Coach K's last season, and because of that, I definitely think his squad's going to come out and play really, really inspired and get his last season off on a good note for those guys. Now, obviously, this would be a prediction I would love to get wrong. I absolutely love my Kentucky Wildcats. I mean, I live 4 hours away, and I'm a season ticket holder, for crying out loud, for basketball. But I just think that those guys are going to come out for Duke, and I really think they're going to play really inspired basketball for Coach K and get his final season started off on a strong note. But overall, I think this is going to be one of the best college basketball games of the season. In the first game before this, Kansas and Michigan State isn't going to be any slouch of a game either. It's definitely one of the most exciting nights for college basketball, because the Champions Classic is one of the great events in this. along with the Maui Invitational and the Battle for Atlantis, along with the CBS Sports Classic in December. All great events for college basketball. But overall, I pray that I'm wrong. Comment down below if you think that I am wrong and you think that Kentucky will end up winning this game. Drop a like on this video because a little love does go a long way. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.